Hi guys, this is SDJR7F88 speaking with my, I think it's my 8th update on Compton Martin. Now, this week a lot was done. Basically, as you saw in my last week's update, I'm sorry it dragged on a bit. I basically formed the hills using newspaper. As you can see, this was still newspaper. But I mentioned that I got some plaster cloth. And basically, I've moulded these hills here. As you can see, they're pretty solid, although this one, as you can see, needs a few touch-ups in a few places as it's cracked a bit. But that there is really solid, as is along there. That has been moulded so that perfectly fits behind the station. A little plate layers hut's hopefully going to go in there. I think I mentioned that last update. As well as that, I also did this one here. As you can see, that's also solid, although, as you can see, a few bit more is needed. I have got another wrap, so I'm going to do a bit more later on this. But yeah, sorry about the light. As you know, as you probably just saw from the start of the clip, yes, it's back down in the garage. The start of this clip, sorry. It's back in the garage, just so it's easier I can mould the hills and stuff. So yeah, and obviously it's just easier to put a hairdryer to it down here as well. Although I haven't for this section, it actually dried pretty quickly on itself. But as you can see, I managed to get the rock face effect here, so I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm going to paint that up. Obviously bushes and all that, I'm going to cover up the little holes and stuff. That's quite hard to fill those in with plaster cloth. What else has been happened? Oh yes, as well, you've probably noticed the first layer I've started ballasting. Basically, I've done the centre of the rails down here, along there. I've also done the sides on that one there. Pretty pleased with that. I also did the centre, down the centre of the rail here, and also in between the rails here. But sadly the lighting's not very good in here. It's quite late, but this is wet, as you can see. It's coming off of my fingers because I've only recently just done it with a watery PVA solution. Obviously I sprayed a bit of water on there with my new Willow Scenic sprayer bottle, and basically, yeah, I've been doing it like that. Not too bad. Obviously there's bits on the sleepers. That's all going to be brushed off. It's not going to look like that because that looks like a hell of a mess down there. Obviously it's all got to be hoovered up after. But yeah, I haven't done down the sides there. And obviously there's a quite a height difference between the rail. Not sure if you can see it there. Well, the foam pad and the centre. Obviously there is a little dip in the centre of the rail, but obviously it's a bit too much. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pile up the ballast along the side here, make it a bit smoother. Obviously that's just the under there to see if it goes down alright, and then obviously it should be a bit more of a smoother transition, if you like, to the centre. What else? Yeah, I've done a little tiny bit down by the point, as you can see in there. Obviously it needs to be cleared off the mechanism, but it's working fine at the moment. But yeah, sorry, it looks very, very messy. I'm sure it will do in other videos as well. What else we got here? What have I done? Yeah, I made a mess with the plaster, as you can see, everywhere. And there a bit I forgot to cover up, but now obviously I'm going to have to cover this up because I don't want to get the plaster on the ballast, which I've started down there. If you want to know how I applied the watery mixture, it was very, very hard, I would like to say. I reckon ballasting is probably been the hardest thing to do on the layout. Compared to the clay, I would say it was pretty, the clay was easy. Touch wood that, that this doesn't break any time in the future, the clay wise, because I spent hours and hours and hours doing that, as you know. But ballasting, you see, I put it all in between the rails, brushed it through like Ever Junction said, a brush, there it is, and made it all nice and flat, got it all off the sleepers and stuff, and then obviously moistened it with a bit of water, sprayed that. The thing is, when you spray that, it ends up stupidly blowing the ballast everywhere, but that was my fault probably with that. And also when you do put the glue on anyway, the water kind of sits on top for a bit of a while. The water's supposed to stop that when you spray it on first, and it does to some extent, but it still sort of seeps through, if you know what I mean. Well, it doesn't seep through. quite the opposite. The glue kind of sits on top for a bit and it pulls up bits of ballast and puts them on the sleepers. But luckily, as you can probably see here, yeah, it's not, obviously it's just sitting on there at the moment, so that could easily be, there it comes off. I am going to repaint the sleepers. I did paint them before, but I'm going to get one of those pen sticks, with like the rail one that I got up there in the loft, but I haven't used that yet. Obviously I'm going to wait until the ballast is totally complete, and I'll do the rail. I'll get a rail tie one, as they call it, but yeah, railway sleeper coloured one, and do that. So yeah, that's about this on the main layout. As you know, I've been weathering quite a lot of wagons recently, and I decided, obviously I like to do photo shoots with them, and obviously I'm creating a website for my last of my college project, for my ICT project, and it's going to be a weathering website. So I thought I'd make a little plinth, and here it is. It's just made up of paper mache and bits of just paper mache and bits of old wood, old section of rail on top which needs to be cut to length. But I used ballast, my medium grey blend ballast on it just to test it out, and I thought this ballast was a bit too light. Now basically what I did with the ballast, I thought this looks quite a bit too large. Even though it's medium, I thought it looked a bit too large, and also it looked a bit too bright. So what I did is I decided to get something a bit more duller, and I got this. This is the ballast I'm using on the main layout, as you can see. This is actually medium buff. It's like a browny grey, which is I feel is a bit more realistic to the area sort of thing. I know it probably would have been more grey, but the thing is they don't do a ballast which is sort of what I like. I wanted like a creamy grey colour. You know, this is too grey. This is too grey, and that's too browny, if you know what I mean. But anyway, so that doesn't really matter. But anyway, I tested that one here, and I decided I go like the buff one better. So I decided to do it with a buff one, and obviously it looks much better in the light. And when it's all tidied up, it doesn't look like a hell of a mess at the moment, like I've said loads of times. But anyway, this obviously I painted out with the Woodland Scenics, and then underneath that. Well, sorry, on top of that, I put static grass. I'm getting all muddled up today. But anyway, this is 1.5mm static grass. It's Woodland Scenic stuff. It comes in those big bottles. And this, amazingly, was applied with a puffer bottle. A knock puffer bottle. I bought that just before the static grass... static grass applicator. What the hell was I saying before that? Anyway, before the static grass applicator, the electric one, FMR one I think, and basically just to see if it worked. Obviously it wouldn't have worked on the 6mm grass, which I have planned for the embankments, but I wanted to see if it worked with this, and it didn't turn out too bad. As you can see, it's standing up pretty nicely. Obviously, bits of where it didn't glue down, I hoovered it up, and obviously bits have come off. But it's done the job for the embankment. I think it looks pretty good. Basically, this 1.5mm stuff is going to go on as an undercoat on top of the brown paint, and then the 6mm stuff's going to go on top on the proper one. I might practice a bit of 6mm stuff on this just to get the hang of it before I actually start wasting it properly on the main layout, because I don't want to do it all wrong all over the layout. So this is also acts as a good tester piece, as the same with the ballast. It didn't turn out too badly, but obviously you see the it's a bit grubby on the sleepers, but they're going to be painted over anyway. But yeah, it didn't turn out too bad. I'm going to add some of the Woodland Scenics weeds and stuff, to make it look a bit like brambles are climbed up, a bit more overgrown. Okay, it looks a bit too uniform at the moment. But basically, the whole point of this is so I could take this outside when I've weathered up some wagons on a nice sunny day, and then, obviously, with blue sky in the background, take a photos of it. Sorry, I'm trying to get the angle on this with a camcorder, it's not very good. Like this. And basically, the wagons will be sitting up here on the top of the rails. Nice sunny sky in the background. The sun will be shining on it from this side, so you could pick out all the rust detail on them. Because I do a really good, nice. I like doing that flaky rust effect, especially on steel-sided wagons. And basically, that'd be sitting on top of there. And I feel it looked really realistic. I did some tester shots with it, but it was paper, and they came out really, really well. And basically, I'm sure those photos will be appearing at the end of my Signals model shop video, which basically shows a few pictures of the shop, if it hasn't been uploaded yet. It probably has. But anyway, that's going to show you some pictures of the finished results, which are wagons which are going to be sold there. And amazingly, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention this, but I was watching some videos. I'm not sure what it would be. Sorry, Tony Prescott's channel. He has a really brilliant layout sort of thing, really detailed. He does a lot of weathered stock. I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning his channel. But basically, I inquired on one of his videos about this train plastic. It was a 8F hauling a tar train. It was all weathered up nicely, and the tar wagons I think were factory weathered, you know, because they come in a set of 3. But the 8F, and there was a barrier wagon behind it, were both hand weathered. And I asked him, saying, "Oh wow, did you weather up those the loco wagons?" And sure enough, a couple of days later, I got a reply, and it was I couldn't believe it. He basically said, "Well, no, well, yes and no. I did weather the 8F myself, but as for the 16-tonner, it was purchased through a shop called Signals Models, Midsummer Norton." And I instantly went, "That's my wagon," and sure enough, it is. And so yeah, I hope if you're watching this, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you really enjoyed the wagon, and please do tell me what you think of it, because I'm just so pleased that someone actually bought it, and someone actually went out and actually bought it from my local model shop, because obviously that's good business for my local model shop, and obviously, well, you know, good for me in knowing that my product actually did pretty well. So yeah, if any of you are interested in buying any of my weathered wagons, please leave a comment below, and visit Signals Model Shop if you live in the area. And I'm sure there will be some on the shelf at some time, as I'm weathering quite a few up at the moment. I've got 3 more at the moment, which you've probably seen in those photographs. It's 2 slope-sided 16-tonners, brown ones, and a 13-ton open wagon. So yeah, well, that's about all for the Compton Martin update. Kind of got a bit sidetracked with other things, apart from the main thing, Compton Martin. But yeah, I'm sure plans for it next. Oh great, it's flashing red again. Plans for it next: finish off the heels, make a bit more solid. Undercoat, layer of the undercoat of the first layer of short static grass, because obviously I got the 6mm stuff. It's on order though. And then obviously it'll be on to completing the ballasting, and then it'll be on to the little scenery things like painting the yard, bushes, obviously all the grass and stuff once it's all down the road. And well, basically all the details from there, because once these 2 main things are done, hills and rails, it's all down to the little tiny bits. Oh, obviously I've got to paint this, but that might be painted next time. I might try and do the black undercoat soon. But first I have to pick all this ballast out of the cobbles, or otherwise it's going to ruin it. But anyway, this has been SDJR7F88 speaking, and thanks for watching.